Hey everyone, I'm Sinister1, bringing you part 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo tutorial. This part of the tutorial is going to cover how to do the wrong warp in Stage 4 of the Technodrome. This glitch saves a little bit over a minute, and it's not too hard to do. So once you've kind of gotten the basics down and you're feeling pretty comfortable with part 1 of the tutorial, then I would suggest go ahead and move on to this. So there's a full explanation of the glitch and what it is in another video that I made, which I will link from this video. If you're really interested in the mechanics and how it came to be, then I suggest watching that. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of cover what actually happens. So the purpose of this glitch is to warp to the end of the stage. You're going to be using 2 turtles, so you're going to need 2 controllers. So I suggest you find a way to be able to use 2 controllers simultaneously. For me, what I do is this is my first player controller, and as you can see on the back, I have placed some Velcro strips. This is my second player controller, and on the back, obviously, the other side of the Velcro there, so they can easily be put together and pulled apart. Put together, pulled apart, right? You need to be able to do this, and the reason why is because it's pretty awkward to try to play the entire game with 2 controllers stacked together as such. You can do it, you can get used to doing it, but I prefer just the feeling of having 1 controller. So you're only going to need to have the controllers together like this for stages 3 and stages 4. Once you've completed that, then you're going to be able to just go back to normal. Rubber bands also work for doing this if you don't have any Velcro strips. These Velcro strips you can buy easily enough. You could go to a store like Michael's, say, and you could just get something that looks like this. It has like a bunch of little dots and squares or whatever, and it just has adhesive on the back. Very easy to do, and highly recommended for this run if you are going to indeed be doing the wrong warp, or if you do any other 1-player 2 controller games for Super Nintendo. Tends to make things a lot easier. So that being said, of course you want to keep your settings the same as I mentioned in the part 1 of the tutorial. Play on the hardest difficulty. Make sure your back attack is off. Make sure your dash is set to manual, and make sure you have the right control scheme, which would be the control scheme C. That means attack is on Y, jump is on B, and special is on A. That is what I'll be referring to throughout the tutorial. So, the 2 turtles that we're going to use, player 1 naturally is going to be Raph. We already explained why in the part 1 of this tutorial. He's the strongest, he's the fastest. No need to go into any more depth there. Player 2, you have some choices. I'm going to be showing you Donatello, and the reason I'm going to be showing you Donatello is because he is the best choice for speedrunning. However, I will also mention that Michelangelo can be used because performing the glitch with Michelangelo is easier. So if you're just starting out, maybe you want to use Mike. You'd still save a big chunk of time over if you didn't do the wrong warp at all, but you're not saving the maximum amount of time. So remember, you're going to have to get rid of your second turtle. So whoever you bring in, you're going to bring them in stage 3 in order to kill them off twice so they have 0 lives going into stage 4, where after you perform the glitch, you'll go ahead and kill them off for the last time, and then Raph is able to complete the run on his own. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys real quick kind of what this looks like with a little play-by-play, and then we're going to go through it a little bit further. So this is going to be from my current, as of today, world record run, which is 18 minutes and 19 seconds. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so as you can see immediately, you're starting into stage 3. I would recommend that at the end of stage 2, you have a bit of a cutscene there. Go ahead and put your controllers together. Now remember, they're not going to be facing the same way. You want to put one upside down on top of on the bottom of the other. Okay? So that way you have the buttons. So I have buttons down here that I can hit with my fingers, and then on the top I can hit the buttons with my thumb. And for the D-pads, it's the same thing. You use your fingers for the bottom, you use your thumb for the top, just as you normally would. Now, this can get a little confusing. Your brain's not going to like it at first, but I promise once you practice enough, you'll adjust to it just fine. So the first thing you're going to do is, as soon as you get into this stage, you're going to go ahead and you're going to bring in Donatello by pressing start. You should have player 2 controller on top at this point. At least that's my recommendation. If player 2 controller is on top, you'll go ahead and press start. You'll press left once, and that will select Donatello, and then you'll press start again. And as you can see, there it is, Don is in. Now you can see I've already moved Raph down to the corner, so what I recommend is just holding diagonally down with your finger here as soon as you begin the stage. It's the opposite. It's diagonally up. I haven't played this in a while, you have to forgive me, I may have a few mistakes. So diagonally up is actually going to be down for Raph, because remember, this controller is upside down, so it's the opposite. And you'll also want to find the B button, because you are going to need to jump with Raph. And then, of course, right next to it is the A button, which will be easy enough to find once you've located B. The reason you'll need to jump with Raph is because you're going to want to avoid taking damage, and you're going to want to get to the end of the stage with full health so that Raph has access to all of his specials. So once you've brought in Donatello, go ahead and bring him down to the bottom of the screen. And then you're going to use a special to take out this guy, you're going to use a special to take out this guy, and you're going to use a special to take out this guy, and hopefully you would have hit that spike, which I actually missed there. So now I'm going to have to take out a few more guys. But essentially you just want to get your health to as low as you can with Don. Okay, so now once you've done that, go ahead and line your guys up. You're just going to want to avoid enemies for the rest of the stage, okay? Because you're going to be killing Don off later on. So we're going to just jump. If any enemies happen to come along, just get out of the way, jump. We want to maintain the health. And we're going to get another spike ball coming up here shortly. So this first spike ball is where you want to kill Don off. And if he has 3 health or less, you'll be able to do that. So that should be fine. Because once you get down to 3 health with Don, you're not going to be able to special anyway. And as you can see, so we kill him off for the first time there. And Raph is safe there at the bottom corner. Make sure you avoid this pizza. You don't want to hit that, especially if you hadn't died yet. But just try not to get online with that pizza if you can. And because it's extra frames that you're wasting at the end of the stage. For each enemy that you kill and each pizza that you get, there's a countdown at the end of the stage that you're going to see that takes a little bit of time. So, important note about this, whichever turtle you're using, in this case we're using Don, make sure you are facing left at this point. If you're facing right, this will not work. You have to be facing left. So as soon as you get to this first part here, and you can see Raph, I just did a special there, so I went ahead and located A on the bottom side of my controller, which is right here. The reason I'm doing that is because you're going to want to use your specials to make Raph invincible so that he doesn't take damage through this section. Meanwhile, with Donatello, you're just getting hit. So you go ahead, take a hit there with Don. You don't have to do anything. Take another hit. Now you can see he's kind of getting knocked down like this. He's going down like this. If you were facing to the right, it's a different stun animation, and that's why you have to face to the left, because you want to take all of these hits so that you go ahead and take another death right there. And you can see Raph used his first special there. So we've done our job with Don. We've taken 2 deaths. That's the minimum that you need to do. You don't have to do it in this exact sequence. If you want to choose another sequence that you feel is safer or better, go ahead and do it. The main objective is just make sure you kill him off twice. So we're going to keep using specials with Raph, as you can see. So like right there, you can see by doing that special, you're just avoiding the spike ball. And we're going to go ahead and take more damage with Don, and I'll explain that later. So Don's going to take a couple more hits. He's going to take 1 there. He's going to take 1 there. And we're going to use a few more specials with Raph. Go ahead, line these guys back up. Okay, so at this point, now once we've lined these guys back up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip the controllers so now that Raph is on top and Don is on the bottom. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate up with the bottom controller. I'm going to locate down. Keep getting these backwards. I'm going to locate down with the bottom controller and up with the top controller. And the reason that you want to do that is because you can stand in this lower right-hand corner for the majority of the time and none of these pizza monsters will hit you. However, there is one that will hit you if you stand there. So you wait for him to come along, and then if you've already got your fingers ready, all you have to do is just press the buttons down, and then you'll move up. As you see, that's probably what's going to happen here in just a moment. So pizza monsters, none of us are hitting, none of us are getting hit. And then there's going to be one that's coming up right about here. We just got to dodge him. Just get out of the way. So remember, you're pressing up on your top controller, which should be Raph, and down on your bottom controller, which should be Don, and they'll both move in the same direction there. And then go ahead and just flip it. You're going to move them back down. So you're just moving your fingers. It's very easy, moving your fingers and your thumb. Now, if for some reason you had taken damage with Raph unintentionally throughout the stage, which can happen especially when you're first learning this, go ahead and stay up there because there is a pizza up there, and as I mentioned before, you do need the full health. Now, Don needs to have at least this much health right here. He's got 8 health at the moment. You need all 8, and the reason why is you're going to use 2 specials with Don. Those cost 3 health apiece. That's going to take you down to 2, and you're going to take a hit from a spike ball, which is going to deal another 1 damage. That will leave you with exactly 1 health. That's exactly the number that you want. If you're not comfortable doing that, go ahead and leave Don with more health. You're not losing that much time over it, but you are losing some time. So anyway, go ahead, let these last couple pizza monsters through. There's the pizza that I mentioned, so if you had stayed up at the top. And then what you want to do here is you want to get Raph lined up. Get him lined up first. So essentially you just want his psi, the top of his psi should be just a little bit below this 0. And so the bottom part should be just above this 0. So get his psi right here, get this in between the zeros, and you're in the right line. Then go ahead and bring Don up. Get him up there. He's ready. You're ready to go. You got plenty of time to do this. No need to stress. You got all day. Rat King's going to come out. Now this is one of the first benefits of actually having 2 players, is that you're going to be able to dispose of Rat King a little bit faster. So the normal strategy is you have to kind of do 2 cycles with Raph, but it takes a little bit longer. I believe this saves, I want to say, a second to a second and a half perhaps. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up, you're going to use all your specials with Raph. Go ahead and just unload, but just be careful because the hit stun animation for Rat King takes a little while. So you can't just mash the button as fast as you can. If you do that, then you may end up doing a special while he's still invincible and it will whiff and then you will get hit. That's not a good thing. So you kind of have to get this in a rhythm. Just kind of watch as he kind of flashes and as he comes out of his stun. Then that's when you want to go ahead and you want to do your thing. So we're going to do that. 5 specials with Raph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now, oh, whoops. I'm sorry, let me back it up just a little bit there. Okay, so as soon as you're done, bring Raph up. Get him out of the way, okay? Because there are spike balls that are going to be shot, and you can see Raph is already on 1 health. That's where you want him to be. Remember, the health gets counted down at the end of the stage. So the health, it's like da-da-da-da-da-da. You don't want to waste that time. That's why you want both turtles to end with 1 health if possible. So with Don, what you're going to do is you're going to notice Rat King is going to he's going to back off now. And as soon as you kind of start to see him backing off, you want to use your first special with Don. So right about there. And then that'll connect, because again, he's invincible during this time, so you have to wait. Once he gets to the back there, you're going to connect, and then you're just going to do 1 more special. You're going to take a hit with the spike ball. I apologize, I didn't have time to download this video from YouTube, so let's show that one more time. I apologize. This is from Twitch, though. I did stream this on Twitch. So there you go, you can see. So then you want to bring Raph back down, get these guys positioned right about there. This isn't perfect positioning, but you'll notice the turtles do move, as was mentioned in part 1, so you don't want them to be too far away. They kind of get them, get this line that's up here kind of in the center between them and get them close to this bottom line here, and then hopefully they shouldn't move too much. Yeah, so Don basically just had to turn around. So that was a good positioning right there. Don just kind of did a quick turnaround animation. Okay. So you've done your job. Raph, he still has both his lives. That's what you want. If you took a death there, it's okay. And Don is on 0 lives. So you've done that. You're going to go ahead. You're going to move on to Technodrome. You want to continue to keep the Raph controller on the top. Continue to keep the Raph controller on the top. and then here we go with Technodrome. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this, and what I like to do is, again, I want to go ahead and set it up so that I have down on the bottom pressed and up on the top pressed. That means that the turtles are going to move in the same direction. I want them both to move up, and I want to get to this line right here. This line right here is where the first enemies are going to spawn from this side. So once we do that, we're going to go ahead and start running. So you're going to have to double tap. Now thankfully the directions are in the same way. So you're keeping your thumb and your finger kind of on the same side here. You're not having to do opposites like you are with up and down. So you're just going to double tap with both so you can start running with both turtles. It's not as hard as you think. So you can see they're both running. That's fine. Get them both running. And then kind of when you get to right about here, you see that glass. Once you get to this glass, you're going to want to go ahead and do a special with Raph. You should connect there with that guy. Go ahead, do another special with Raph. You'll connect with that guy most of the time, but sometimes he does some weird jump kicking kind of stuff. You might not hit him. Don, you can just leave him be. He's fine. Raph is going to do all the heavy lifting during this part of the run. Don really can't contribute too much unless you want to get in some really advanced strategies, but I think for right now we're just going to stick with what we got. So once you kill those guys, you're going to come down here, get on this line so you can special and take out both of these enemies at once, then come back up because you're going to have this Roadkill Rodney and another one coming from this side, and I believe a Purple Foot Soldier. Get all those guys lined up. Go ahead, one more special, so we didn't get this guy. I probably timed the special just a little bit too early, or maybe I wasn't low enough on the line, but either way, this guy coming out jump kicking. From here, so we're going to just go ahead, do another special, whatever. You're going to take care of the guy. And then again, you're going to want to do the same thing, run. So that's your double tapping, right, with both controllers. And then once you get to the edge of the screen, Raph's going to have to come up to do what he normally does in this situation. You're going to want to bring Don up again as well. Now, the reason that we keep bringing Don up is because ultimately you want Don to be at the very top of the screen by the time that we get to the wrong warp. So we're going to go ahead, again, you're going to be pressing down on your bottom controller here, and you're going to be pressing up on your top controller. So you do that, and you get both of them up. Don's pretty much near the top of the screen, and if you do it right, you can group these enemies all together. I think I went a little bit too far there. So you do one punch and then a dash special, and if I had done it right, I would have taken this, I would have hit this guy as well. And then what you can do is you'll be able to just hit him with one more regular attack, which you can do with Don, or you can do with Raph, depending on which way he goes. It's up to you. So that's the one useful part for Don, but I missed it, so we're going to have to kind of adjust here. So I just end up doing this and taking that guy out with Raph. Just, it's easier that way. Don't bother trying to get too fancy with Don here. Leave him be. And then you can go ahead and take this guy out with a special these guys. Okay, this guy you don't have to kill. You can leave him alone. Don't worry about it. You only need to kill all of these Purple Foot Soldiers. And then once again, finally, now this is where we're going to get to the very top of the screen. So we're holding down on our bottom controller, up on our top controller. Raph and Don both moving in sync. And then you're going to start dashing with both of them. Start a special right about here in this area. What you need to do is you need to scroll the screen far enough to get the mousers to start spawning and coming, and they're going to bust through the glass, right? So we go ahead, we do that special, and then what you're going to do is immediately turn back and do another special, and what that's going to do is that's going to take out this mouser and knock down this guy. That's going to give you just enough time to pull the glitch off. So both of these guys are down, and you can see all these mousers are coming at you. Now, with the mousers, it doesn't matter which mouser is the one that's attacking you. What matters is that the mouser is attacking you from the right-hand side and you are on the left-hand side. That's the reason that we're all the way in the left-hand corner here. It would be much easier to do it at the right-hand corner because you're going to warp off screen on the right-hand side, but there's no way that you'd be able to guarantee that the mousers are coming from the right. And I don't know why that is the case, but I promise you that is indeed the case. The mousers have to be coming from the right-hand side. So what we've done is we've lined up both of our turtles in an exact place. They're both completely flush left, and they're both completely at the top of the screen. Now this is important because the positioning of this glitch is requiring that both turtles are attacked by one mouser. And the way that you do that is you get them on the exact same plane. So once they're on the exact same plane, the first mouser that comes out and attacks, he's actually going to be attacking both of them. So it's going to be this guy, I think. Yep, so he jumps, he's coming at it, and then he's actually attacking both Don and Raph right now, in the game's mind. In the game's mind, he's attacking both turtles. So what you're going to need to do is you need to get ready with your finger over here on the Y button on the bottom, okay? Because Don is the one that has to do a regular attack. So Don has to do, or player 2, whoever player 2 is going to do the regular attack. Now, you're going to want to do it just as the mouser looks like he's about to connect. You have a 4-frame window. 4 frames is pretty generous. The reason I mentioned Michelangelo before is that Michelangelo actually has a 7-frame window to pull this trick off. So you'd think, well, why not just use Michelangelo? There are several reasons why you don't use Michelangelo. Let me cover those really quickly. 1, he has the best defense of all the turtles. He takes very, very little damage. He's very hard to kill off. Even in stage 3, it's like really hard to kill him off twice before you get to the Rat King, but you can do it. 2, his special attack only uses 2 bars of health, whereas with the other turtles, 3 bars is what's used. So the reason that's going to become important, you'll see in just a moment when we end up fighting Shredder. So right now what you need to do is you need to focus on getting this hit done at the perfect time. Almost. Right there. Okay. So as soon as you start your attack, you're going to see Raph. See, Raph got grabbed there. But you can see Donatello also took damage. So the mouser was indeed attacking both turtles. And as soon as you see Don starting to walk, you know that you got it. Both turtles, they're just going to take a walk. Oh, all you enemies, see ya. So they're done. They're done fighting. We're going straight pretty much to the end of the stage. You're going to get to the elevator. Now, if you see the pizza in the corner of the elevator, this means that something bad has happened and that you are not going to warp to the end of the stage. You're in fact going to be starting here at the elevator. You don't want that. You want to skip entirely to Shredder. So that can happen if you are getting attacked by the mouser, you do the glitch, and one of your turtles gets hit, I think, at around the same time. If all those things happen together, then you only warp here. I don't know why that is, but it just is. So if you set things up the right way like I showed you, it's pretty much a lock. You got to hit the 4-frame trick, or 7 if you're using Michelangelo. If you do that, then you're good to go. So the turtles are going to go ahead. They're going to go through to Shredder here. Now the game is so confused at this point, it doesn't even know what to do. So the game has to put the turtles back at the beginning of the stage. It's just like, I can't handle this. This isn't right. We're going back. Technodrome, you guys start over. Shame on you for trying to glitch out the game. But then it still just puts you at Shredder. So it's like, okay, well, thanks for that reminder that we're in Technodrome. I appreciate it. So now what you're doing is you can see that Don has actually become Mike by name, but he is still Don. He is still purple. And he's also gotten a full health refill, which is unfortunate because otherwise you'd be able to set up scenarios where you could kill him off quicker in this fight. Don is a real liability in this fight. So is Mike. Mike's even much worse of a liability in this fight. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep your bottom finger here on the A button so that you can spam specials with Don. And this is probably the trickiest part of the wrong warp strategy, is being able to kill off Donatello quickly in this fight. You'll have to practice it a lot to get it done well. And you need to kill Don off in this fight. If you don't, you're going to waste a ton more time trying to kill him off in the next stage. I'm not even going to go into that, but just trust me, it's probably at least another like 20 seconds that you're just throwing in the garbage. Just kill him in this fight. Even if you're standing there for like 10 seconds, you're still doing better than if you went to the next stage. So keep that with Don, and then with Raph, you're just going to do your normal thing. Just try to screen throw as many guys as you can. What I like to do strategy-wise, I tend to split up the turtles. I'll keep Don towards the bottom to the middle, and then I take Raph up to the top. And then that way you can kind of see what's going on up at the top more, because Shredder's not blocking your view. And it doesn't matter if Shredder's blocking your view with Don, because all you're doing is pressing the button to do special. It doesn't make any difference. But for Raph up here, you're having to dash and hit enemies, so it makes a little more sense. So let's see how this fight goes. So we can see Raph's kind of a little up there, more to the top. Take that guy. Don takes those 2 guys out. Raph can take him out. So Don's kind of just waiting. You need enemies. Remember, the enemies spawn randomly in this part of the game. You don't know what their spawn point is going to be, and you don't know which direction they're going to go once they do spawn. But I would still recommend just keep Don towards the bottom. Don't try to get too crazy and move him around. You're just going to give yourself more of a headache. The enemies will come to you. They will come to Don. And you can see, so we've only used one special with Don here so far. You need to use 5 specials, ideally, and then get hit. Or sometimes you may get hit in between, and you may only use 4 specials. But either way, you're going to need to be getting hit. So if that claw had hit Don there just now, that would have been fantastic. When that happens, Don dies really quickly. But there's no real way to guarantee it. And Shredder is somehow biased towards the guy that's doing maybe more of the heavy lifting. I considered maybe like trying to do it with Don to make him like the main turtle that's attacking, and maybe you could just get hit more, but I don't know, it gets too complicated. So anyhow, so there we go. Don can take out another guy, take out a few more, and then, so now Don just needs to get hit. So we're at that point where Don he's got 1 HP, Raph's done his business, Shredder's down to 1. Remember, you got to throw 9 of these enemies at Shredder to take him out. So this is where you need to be careful, and it's good to keep count of how many enemies you've thrown at Shredder, because if you're down to the last one, you need to back off. You need to wait until somebody kills Don. And sometimes the best way to do that is if, so here we have a good situation. We have a guy up here. We have 2 guys that are here. So Don's kind of surrounded, but sometimes he's not. Sometimes the guys will be all over here, or they'll be up here. What you want to do then is bring Raph down to where Don is. You bring Raph down there, and then they're going to all the enemies have to converge to that area, and somebody will hit Don, I promise you. So let's see what happens in this situation. He gets hit immediately, which is great, and then you can go ahead, you can finish off Shredder. Stage is done. So you just saved yourself over a minute by doing all that correctly, and it's not too hard. So you can see now also, another interesting thing is the continue countdown. This is why taking Don into the next stage is no good. If you kill Don off at the beginning of the next stage, which you can actually without losing any time, this continue countdown starts. Now, while the continue countdown is on, the game still believes that you're in 2-player mode. So when you advance the screen in Prehistoric Turtlesaurus, you'll spawn more enemies, and you won't be able to do things as fast as if... as if Don had already been killed off. Because you have to wait. This countdown takes a very long time. It's 9 seconds, but it's like slow. It's like 9, 8... And then eventually, once it gets down to 0, then by like the next screen maybe, then the game recognizes, oh, hey, we're doing 1 player now. Let me stop spawning all these extra enemies. So that's why we want to take out Don here in Technodrome. So that's pretty much it. Those are the main things that you need to know. Other than that, I recommend a lot of practice. The best thing you can do is get yourself a game saver. So what I have here, I have a game saver, so I can go back. It's just something that you plug into your Super Nintendo. It's by Nekatech, and basically it allows you to make 1 save state as you're playing through on your console. So you're still playing on console. You don't have to deal with an emulator or anything like that. And it allows you to go ahead and load a state. So if I go ahead and press that, it's going to take me back to sewer surfing. So let's see if I can do this properly. So we want to bring in Don. I want to make sure we can jump with Raph. And take out some of these guys. And there, I got hit on my toe. That's perfect. So Don has 3 health. This is exactly where we want to be now. We're pressing B with both guys. Just avoid the enemies, no big deal. Okay, easy enough. And then you want to just make sure you do get up here with Don. You can kill Don off earlier if you want, but I find it's easier to just go ahead and kill him on the spike ball. Remember, locate A with Raph so you're ready. Raph is on your bottom controller here. Make sure you're facing left with Don. Don's going to go ahead, he's going to take another death. Meanwhile, Raph is going to special. Then go ahead and hold right with Don. Just hold right. Get him all the way to the right of the screen. No reason not to. Go ahead, special with Raph. Bring Don down, and then you're going to flip. You're going to flip your controllers. Go ahead, locate down. Down with Don and up with Raph. So we're ready to go. Ready for that pizza monster that's coming after us. Get out of the way of the pizza monster. bring him back down. Go ahead, you can line Raph up. There's actually a line on the screen which allows you to line them up beforehand if you really want to, but I recommend looking at the zeros, getting in between there. So stage 3 is pretty much the easy part, unless you're opting to use Michelangelo, in which case it's a different strategy, but this will work. So now we're just going to do specials, 5 of them. Get Raph out of the way. Get Don hit, bring Raph back down, bring Don over. Got him. Okay. So that's it. Stage 3 is pretty easy, as you guys can see. Go ahead and mash your buttons. And then I'm going to make another state here so I can show you guys a few things. So again, we're going to want to move up, and then we are going to want to special. See, that guy came out with the jump kick that time. So things are going really bad now. Just special with Raph, just go crazy. Okay, there we go. So you just want to make sure these guys are lined up. Didn't get it. So if you die with Raph, it's okay. You just try again. Just try to beat these guys down, and then just keep trying. There you go. You just keep trying until you get it. See, Zombie Don. We got Zombie Don. He's got 0 health. He's still got 0 health. He's a zombie. Don't worry about it. He's going to get all his health back. He's going to be there when we fight Shredder. So you do have to press the button again here when it comes to this Technodrome screen. You do have to make sure that you pass it. So again, this is the super hard part. You can bring Don up just a little bit if you want at the beginning, just to get him a little more towards the middle. I had him facing the wrong way there. Bad fight with Raph here so far. So we need Don to get hit. There we go. So you can see this fight is really tricky. That's the hardest part probably. Alright, so I'm going to go over just real quickly a couple other things. And then I'm probably going to wrap it up. So let's go back. So another option that you have here, so we can go through the stage just normally like we did the first time. Kill that guy, kill that guy. See, we got all of those guys that time. You don't want to let Don get hit too much either. So this is your other option. The other option, what you can do, go ahead and throw this guy. Maybe bring Don down here. And what you're going to do in this particular scenario, instead of just going for the one shot and if you miss it, you're probably done. Like I got lucky last time to get second opportunities at it. This scenario, we're going to kill everybody except for one mouser and just leave one mouser on the screen, and then we can go ahead and we can take as many tries as we need. So this is a little bit of an easier strategy. So you go ahead and do the same kind of thing, but you're keeping the guys in a different position. Make sure you screen throw these guys. Okay, now we want to just get up and kill the guys on the left. Remember, we don't need them. Okay, so now, everybody's finished. Everybody's all off the screen. The only guy we have left is just this one mouser right here. So we just need to make sure that we get it at the right time. And there it is. You get Zombie Don again. So that takes a little bit longer, but it can be a little bit safer if you do it right. If you can do it right. That's actually what I tried to do at the marathon because it is a safer strategy. Unfortunately, I got extremely trolled in a very, very bad way, and it was not good. It was very not good. So anyways, so then again, you got the Shredder fight. You want to this is what takes the most practice. As you can see, I had a pretty bad fight, but the more you practice this fight, you'll kind of get better at it and just understanding like what are the key things that I need to do. So one of the key things is just identifying, okay, when can Don hit somebody? Whenever Don can hit somebody, do it. Oh, look at Don. He's getting wrecked. That's really good. Okay, yeah, we didn't have to work hard to get Don killed that time. This is like a really good fight. Oh yeah, that was an amazing fight. So sometimes it's luck of the draw, sometimes you just need a little help. But that's that. So there you have it. So that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Wrong Warp. Get through the Technodrome, save yourself a little bit over a minute, and have some fun in the process. So again, I will link the full Wrong Warp video and story, but just essentially what happens is there's a hitbox that is formed when a turtle attacks, and that hitbox takes a certain number of frames to form. So with most of the turtles it takes 4 frames. With Michelangelo it takes 7 frames, that's why you have the additional window. And you're exploiting that hitbox not being completely formed yet, along with the Mouser attacking both turtles at the same time. Those two things put together make the game not know what to do. And the game just decides, well, I don't know what to do, so I better send you to the end of the stage. Video game logic.